Alright, welcome in everybody. Race number 9 here, ISRC Truck Season. Last race for the playoffs. We ain't making it, so we're just here to have some fun. So, yeah, we're here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. 150 laps around this 1.5 miler. Coming to qualify here, so we'll see how it goes.
It's now 103 Fahrenheit. Just done at 30.72. P3, you're currently 0.29 off the pace. The guy in front has just done at 31.00. Fastest lap for Trent, 30.68.
Damn, dude. Felt like that was a pretty decent lap, too. Yeah. It was not. I don't know what it could have did differently. Jeez. Did not run a very good lap. It's unfortunate. I didn't lift in both turns and I ran a terrible lap. Gotta work it out for us in this race. Hey, thanks for liking it, buddy. Hopefully your stream.
I just keep dropping back.
Hopefully your stream survives this time and runs a little better. Yeah, I don't know, man. Another mid-pack starting.
Hey,
Yeah,
broadcasters, if you can hear me, can someone come down into cannon fire, please?
Yep, race number 9 here, Wildman.
Need to have a quick chat.
Hasn't been a very good season for us, as you know. You've tuned in most of it, so we're sitting like 19th in points, so we ain't making the playoffs. So we're just gonna try to have fun the rest of the season. So, yeah, man, it's a tough competition this league. Damn, dude. Just keep dropping like a rock.
Of a second over Isaac Shelley, and that's going to be one of your final times crossing. What a lap by the 27. Talmadge trying to make a statement here this evening as he wants to be one of the favorites from that Planet Sim Racing team. Have been leading on the team championship point side. And Talmadge going to take the pull here this evening for the Wheelin and Dealin 150 here at Las Vegas. As qualifying is ending, we're about to be going into a warm-up. The drivers will have 5 minutes to try to get a little bit of extra practice time in, as well gives us time to take a closer look of how this season has gone so far. From looking at the points this season on the schedule, we'll start things off with the points because this is the big thing for this evening. It's the last race of the regular season. It was a shortened season. only 14 total races will be ran at 4 points, and this is the last race of the regular season before we have our 5 races for the chase. And the drivers line up here. Top 12, where they line up now, Vincent Sora, just by starting here tonight, should lock up that regular season championship. But we look at the cutoff line. I mean, Zach, from 10th all the way down to 15th, it's within 12 to 13 points that those drivers have. Big swings can happen with 2 positions on the line, and I mean 3 positions on the line. They're points, and those are some hot drivers that have been on hot streaks, some drivers that have been on cold streaks. It's wide open on who could be in or out for the chase. Let's go ahead and
track temperature's rising. It's now
no doubt.
I don't think Cody's black cleared.
You know, I think Fonseca is on such a hot streak that he is going to be a hard, you know,
what do you get a black for?
To stop from getting in.
So we were fucking around, and then Josh gave him a disqualification, and he still has the flag.
I think you really got to be strong here tonight, because if you're not, you will be slipping out of this because of how strong the other drivers have been.
Yeah, because if you do it, you can't clear it. If iRacing does it, you can.
Other drivers searching. Again, we've got the top 12 points move in. The drivers that are within 13th to 20th, if you have a win, you move in. One of those drivers that was hoping for a solid night and a chance to win and lock themselves in and be an additive. Nico Garcia going to have a provisional here tonight. His chances of making the chase are done with taking the provisional. Also, Alan Elwood taking a provisional here this evening. He's gotten a win already this season, so he will continue to be a locked-in driver. But hey, if a lot of drivers that are outside of the cut line have a good run here tonight, and we see Alan Elwood, those provisional points not be as great as he was hoping for, could have an awkward scenario where he could be an additive driver.
Like how my crew chief calls Jesse
But let's take a look at how the schedule has been so far this season, because we've had a lot of swings up and down on who can get into victory lane. Recently, though, it's been a lot of dominance seen from John Forbes, Vincent Sora, as past champions that have won the last 3 weeks, with Alan Elwood winning at Pocono. But Zach, you look at this schedule, it has been all mile or bigger courses. And this is going to be one of our this is our final race of the regular season before we start to see some smaller courses in the playoffs. Exciting the way that this regular season has been to watch.
No doubt, the regular season has been exciting. It's been mostly speedway action, like you said, but we're going to get to a little bit shorter action here.
So is this race going to go caution-free like last week?
Race next week at Bristol.
Mark's here, so probably not.
A little bit of a preview, I guess you could say, for like Phoenix and Rockingham. So that'll definitely, I think, help. But
that checks out.
I think that whole shakeup with adding those tracks in and this playoffs will really make for interesting playoffs to see. Maybe a new dynamic and another driver come into the picture that we maybe don't expect.
I have a feeling someone's either going to hit the wall out of 4 or someone's going to get loose out of 4. It's going to be a wreck.
Race starting up here tonight. Let's take a look at some of our
I don't feel like we
feel
get 2 caution-free races in a row.
Who are going to be drivers overall this evening that could be favorites to watch out for a win.
We've never been that lucky.
Feel like are just storyline drivers. And I talked about how the fact that we've got drivers that have been hot streaks, those on cold streaks. I'm going with the one who's been on one of the biggest hot streaks since week 3. Coming off of a terrible start of the season, I'm going with Ollie Fonseca. He's outside looking in, but the 24, he's just a mere 4 points out to Tyler Dangler.
I've only felt it like on the first lap coming out of 4, like in all the air that'll stuck around just a little bit.
Ollie's gonna be a strong one here. Definitely look to get in, but
it's only that first lap though, and it's like if you hit like coming right around like pit road entry, that like transition, it'll catch the wheel.
It's time to get into those playoffs and really set himself up for maybe a solid run there.
Where will we see Tyler Dangler finish? I think that's going to be a fun question.
If need be, we'll have 2 attempts at a green wide checkered.
It'll be Robert Moyer Jr.
Initial start
He's
will
going
be
to go
on
probably a
green.
driver who
Any
will be a
restarts
favorite
will
to watch
be
out
on
for
the
here
leader
for a
within
win.
the Geico
That's
restart
the
zone.
3 of Thomas
Any start
Green.
restarts not initiated by the leader within that zone will be on the green flag.
As they will try to go
24
for
X's
another
is
win
the limit
here
before you
at
get a
Las
DQ.
Vegas.
No
Those are our
faster
pickups.
pass.
Those are drivers that we
4
feel like
additional
are those
sets
to
of
watch out
tires.
for here
Please remember to
tonight.
take to the right
For
on
this
pit road
evening's
to
race
avoid any
at Las
potential
Vegas will be
accidents and penalties
150
on
laps.
pit road.
No stage break, no
No
faster
changing lanes
pairs.
before the
4
start-finish
tires
line on the
in pit
initial
road.
start and
Expect
any
this race to be a
restarts
two-stop
unless you are avoiding an
evening.
accident or a
But
potential
Zach,
accident
what are
in
some of
front
the
of
big
you.
factors to watch out for here tonight?
As always,
as we're
we'll be
about to
heavily
see our
relying
grid
on
get ready for
iRacing for
racing action?
yellows.
Well, I think
as long as we don't see anything on the racing
how
surface
much of a pack race will this be with it being a day race? I
that
think
we
that's
deem
gonna
to
be
be
the question,
needing a
because we've seen
caution,
the
we'll be
nighttime,
just
it
relying
very
on
much
iRacing
stays
for caution.
very much stuck together throughout the runs. So
And
I
this is
think
the
in the
last
daytime
race
we could
before
see
the
it spread out a
playoffs.
little bit more.
It's going to be
But
intense
still,
out there.
I think at the beginning of the runs, it's
Let's
going to
have
be very
some
much
good
a
hard racing,
chaotic
but clean
race.
racing as
So you
much
got to
as
stay
we
out of the
can. We've
trouble
had some good
if you want to
races
make it to the
lately,
end of the
so
checker flag.
let's keep it up, folks.
As we are getting ourselves ready for racing action, the last race of the regular season, the first time we've had Las Vegas in this position of the schedule. Who's in? Who's out? It's time to find out. As Talmadge going to be taking that top spot on the grid here this evening. That 27's been looking fast, and he wants to get into victory lane once again. To his outside, it's Isaac Shelley, who also would love to finally take a win here at Las Vegas. He's looked quick here in the past. He'll try
Appreciate
to
y'all
carry that
tuning in
speed
here.
on forward.
29 of us here.
Fastest driver to watch out for here tonight.
150
Besides
laps.
point leader, it's John Forbes. He's won the last time we were here. He got the pole the last two races that we've ran here at Las Vegas. That 11's always quick. He'll hope to top the boards here this evening. Ollie Fonseca, my pick to watch out for tonight. We'll start in 4th. Ethan Smith, one of those drivers that's inside of our top 20 in points. He needs a win to make it into the chase. He'll start 5th here this evening. Joshua Stovall, all of you UPS Brown Crew fans, they'll be starting in 6th position. A fantastic start as he is entering 10th in points here tonight. Just needs a solid run and he'll make it into the chase. Our points leader entering tonight, Vincent Sora 7th.
See how it goes.
With Samuel Garcia 8th. 9th is Trenton Jump, and Malik Kuntz finishes off our top 10.
Robert's pick's going to start in the 11th position. That's going to be Thomas Green. Alongside him in 12th, it's going to be the 8. I know it's still
what's
looking
going
to
on
hang
here?
To one of the final spots for the playoffs.
Oh, what the hell?
13th is going to go to Logan Brakey. 14th is going to be the 10 truck of Ryan Ferraro.
You're giving that man way too
much
much
power.
power.
It's going to be a 99 of Michael Miller. Jesse Thornick's going to start in 16th.
We're trying to fix an
Nick
issue.
Crawford, a previous winner here at Las Vegas, going to start back in 17th position.
I was
18th 's
wondering
going
that
to
was
Morales.
over.
19th is going to go to the 53 of Eric Stanford.
Good job,
Rounding
guys.
out the top 20 is going to be Tyler Dingler on that cut line.
Yeah, but
In 21st, we find
did it as a
Dakota
joke
Loney,
in
who, if he
qualifying
has a
because we
fantastic
used to
run
be able
and
to
gets
clear
a
it,
win
and
somehow
now we
here this
can't clear
evening,
it.
He could be sneaking his way into the chase as he enters 20th in points. Here tonight, Justin Smith 22nd on the board with Joshua Kanata in 23rd. In
Well, that's
24th, we
unfortunate.
find Justin Forbes with Cody Smith back
If
in
I
25th
exit
position.
out, I won't be
Mark
able to get back to the
Lamertone going to
grid,
be
right?
starting in
Just chase the
26th
fuck
position
around and find
with
out.
Cody
No.
Reed having some troubles.
I just realized
currently.
What's really funny is
Oh,
like
yeah,
it's
it's
always happening at least like 2 or 3 other
was
times.
disqualified
It's
during
crazy.
the practice run,
10
and it has
seconds.
not been able to get
Mistake last
cleared.
week.
The 25 is in a frantic position
I don't think
to
I
try to get this
remember
disqualification
this
Tires are
removed.
cold, watch out.
Cody Reed
Okay,
taking out on
Dakota, it's a
track.
strong field,
His chances of
but
making
we're
the chase
expecting you
this
to finish
season
in the top
could be
20.
snuffed out.
Oh,
28th, we find
set the
Dan
bar high.
Hubbard, who will be out
At
there
least
on
like
track.
this
This could be a
specific
driver that could shake
situation.
things up. And 29th is TJ Calloway, but Zach, the Cody Reed situation doesn't look
Rolling
like the black
start.
flag
Get
has
ready.
been
Follow
cleared.
car number
He's still
53.
being
The inside
disqualified
column.
at this current time. That's a sad situation to see before he even took the green.
Yeah, I was getting a little more information on that because, you know, I was kind of hearing the rumblings in the background of this going on and
Race
kind
car
of see
speed
what
is
that
60
situation was.
miles
and
per
it does,
hour.
like,
The pace car has just left.
undo that. So that is very questioning and unfortunate for Cody. So we'll have to see
Well,
how
I
that
appreciate y'all tuning in as
plays out.
always here.
They'll go
Yes,
by the
how many
situation,
are
but
in the
Cody Reed really nothing
29.
he can do is
Pace
out of
car
his
speed.
power.
Well, I guess technically 28.
Miles
per
again
hour.
enter tonight, 19th in points.
I think
He needed
Cody
a
got
win,
in.
and he's had a couple
Oh,
of
did
good
he?
runs.
Okay.
We thought maybe a win was possible tonight. His chances of
Yeah, I
being
think that
chased
his
for
black got
season
cleared.
8 look to be done as the session will not be restarted. We will run with 28 drivers here tonight.
I'm sorry for the super
which,
late
changes
thing.
up
We're
the
still
math a
trying to
little
figure
bit
this
here
out.
on drivers that are mathematically possible to find a way to make
It
it
kind of is
into
what it
the
is.
chase based off of points that will push our points window down to 18th place. Ryan Ferraro, if
I'm on the
he
top
sees some of the
there, please
drivers in
don't hit
front of him have trouble, he could find a way to sneak his way into the chase even without a win.
Lucas.
But up front,
Yeah, good luck.
Talmadge, Isaac Shelley,
Good luck.
how do you want to settle this one in? As Isaac Shelley, actually will have to start at the end of the line. It's given an EOL penalty after reckless driving, so that pushes Ollie Fonseca now up.
I'm really
to
loving
that
the
outside
30-something
row.
frames I'm getting right
What
now.
speed,
But
what reckless moves? Who's willing to give it all to make it
Okay,
to the
Dakota,
Season 8
here we go.
chase
Don't
and have a
slow this up.
chance to hoist the ISRC Lyra Productions Trucks
Go.
trophy? Let's find out as the Wheelin and Dealin 150 is underway here tonight. The outside road, look at the
It's already stacked up.
still accordion backwards, but on the inside lane, 3 drivers bump drafting into
Still
turn
there.
number 1. It's Jared Talmadge, but
Car
Sean Forbes wants to make the big move.
Still there.
Definitely looking to get already early position.
Yeah, I got shuffled way back.
And that's where you see a lot
I'm
of
right behind you.
I didn't see that.
that right where
They took me through there.
the tire well is. You're on the outside. And just trapped by his Ethan Smith makes it 3 wide here early for lap 1.
Dealin.
Ethan Smith knows every point is so critical for himself. And
Let's just stepped out on me there for a second.
Yeah, I got that same
across the line will lead lap number 1. Give a bonus point to Ethan Smith as they'll stay 3 wide down into turn number 1.
Beautiful racing here so far. As Ethan Smith, like you said, Sam, needs every point he can bag. And he's also, if he can take home a win, that will just guarantee his positioning into those playoffs. So that is exactly what this is looking for. And in the past, been quick here in Las Vegas, so let's see what Ethan can produce. But Jared Tucker, we know he's not going to go like that.
How important is the top position? That clean air. We heard about it a lot last week by the club. We had caution free during that run. Jared Talmadge puts down the fastest lap that last go around. Vincent Sora now squeezing his way to the inside as you're seeing the battling going clear for 5th place on back. But Zach, heard last week the fact that fresh air actually made these vehicles a lot harder to drive. I'm curious if that's going to be a similar feel here tonight at Las Vegas as Vincent Sora to the point, just like he's been doing in the points lead.
It's very interesting to see how that plays out. It can very well be that factor here like that at Las Vegas. Still there. Get that in there. Get all that downforce, pushing that nose into the track, really making it oversteer while the other drivers not only get their outside and later balance truck to see.
Man, dude, we're getting shoved back, bro.
Back to third, hold that just like that. And by as Ethan Smith just shows, there's a lot of passing out there.
Yeah, this one being back and forth going to be the big thing we see this evening. Also with how important the draft is, these drivers going to be on top of the line for at least the first 20 laps. We'll see if it changes around a run, but a really hard. Still a lot of big moves. Ethan Smith, now a massive push to go 3 wide. He's up 4 positions for qualified. One of the drivers that started in the back, Danny Cochran, already up 11 positions from where he started. You see the middle of the field, it is getting a little bit reckless. As Thomas Green, Ollie Fonseca, big blocks going around in a bit on that backstretch.
Definitely still there. Racing moves going on there, but it's going to be an aggressive race. I think everybody knows what's on the line. There's a lot of risk, still a lot of gambling going on. I mean, it's Las Vegas. Why not go ahead and throw it all on the table right here? Everybody is looking for any move they can make. It's jump looking for that quarter panel, that 24 while they're inside. Looks to the inside. We're looking at 3 wide here, all 2.
Hold that line. Jump has seen some heroics moments, absolute heartbreak moments here at Las Vegas in the past, and he would love tonight to be one of those guys that get back into victory lane. Our season 2 champ was so dominant here all the way back in season 2. He was fighting with Thomas Green and Danny Cochran for laps led. He came up shy on the most laps led, was taken out during that race. And now he's in the scope and then make his way forward as he's got Sandro Garcia to his inside.
I don't know, man.
Big
this is not working out very well for us.
Garcia as well as Ollie Fonseca. Those are the 2 drivers that need a lot of points here tonight. They're trying to get in front of Isaac Shelley, Tyler Dangler, and be about 5 positions ahead of both of those drivers. And they both can sneak their way into the chase, pushing back both, again, Dangler and Shelley.
This is some rare racing. It's going to be up in the air all the way to the checker flag. Because again, those stages this season, there's no points to be gained. You got to get to that checker flag if you want to get those points there. So one thing you can really get bonus points from is leading those laps.
Leading the laps, hoping for the best, and we will not have official points until this race is over. We're going to do our best to give you unofficial points by me writing down on my sheet of what I believe the point scenario is at. It's difficult to do at times, so we will say a lot. Just wait till after this race is done, but we'll do our best to give you a clear picture as the game goes on. We're seeing some of the drivers further back in the field. Here we find the meat machine of Noah Steele, as well as Jesse Thornock, trying to make their way forward as Isaac Shelley stuck in the mix here. This 98, as well as Tyler Dingler in the 19. They are exactly where they don't want to be. This could be bouncing both of those drivers out of the chase.
This is not what they need. Still there. I mean, you know, for Dingler, it was just a tough qualifying run. Shelley, it was the penalty, and he's stuck back here. I mean, you got to think it was kind of a lackluster week, you know, previously for him. And just nothing really worked out for him, and it's kind of put him in this position to be this close of points. So right now, Shelley definitely not safe running this far back here.
Absolutely not. As they continue to stay side by side, basically racing for last. showing that every position matters so much. Here's the 97 of Justin Forbes, brother of the three-time champ of John Forbes. It's been fun to watch Justin these last couple of seasons as a pro as a driver. That first season, rough. It was a struggle just to stay on track.
Big frame drops, big frame drops.
Getting more and more aggressive, more and more confident. Currently running up here, trying to get inside of the top 20. This is great development to see from the 97, who, like I said, very lack on experience compared to a lot of this field. It's been racing on iRacing for a couple of years.
It is amazing to see. I've, personally seen a lot of these from Justin. He's gotten better and better, and the things he's just really cleaned up. And that's the one thing you want to see from a driver. You'll see mistakes early in your career that they make, but if you cannot make those same mistakes over again, that is when you see improvement. And it's not always about the speed. His speed not always improved, but also just his racecraft. So I think that is
the next car is Morales.
And I think the biggest thing for him is just getting into the races now and getting the finishes that best can get from that night.
See one brother develop while the other up front dominating. John Forbes trying to get by Ethan Smith. Former teammates back in the early days of the ISRC Truck Series under the moniker of Blackjack Racing. And Ethan Smith, John Forbes willing to rubble a couple of fenders back and forth. And for Ethan, it is all about the win. All of his other competition around him are just looking for good races. Get some good points here and there. But this 0-0 to this season was all about making the chase, making a run to look as strong as he used to look back in those early first 4 seasons, where this 0-0 was a threat for every single championship run. And currently Ethan Smith still inside of the top 4, but I'm curious on these tires with how aggressive we've been seeing these big moves by the 0-0 on how well he can stay with our top 4, or is he going to fall apart and just see this tire wear hurt him in the next 5 to 6 laps?
That's going to be the telltale sign, really, I think, Sam. Once we get about another 10 laps in here, we'll really see if Ethan Smith can hang on with the tires, if he's really overworking them. But the one thing I will say is, I feel like Las Vegas is one of the tracks that's changed the least amount. Yes, we got the new whole scan here. It looks beautiful now. Of course, it looks different, but it runs completely the same as it used to versus the old scan, and it really drives pretty similar in these trucks to how it used to. So I'm not surprised to see Ethan really take it to liking this. I feel like this is kind of more of a wheelhouse and back way it used to feel before.
Got a whole freaking bunch of trucks in front of us here.
Now in line with one another.
97 in the wall.
Racing. What's going on?
Outside.
Back there, starting to see
Clear outside.
Starting to see the field split up in half. We've got our top 13 that are still within 2 seconds of one another, and the draft's kind of keeping them in tow. Then falling all the way back 14th positions, Danny Cochran, as he's got a hornet's nest behind this too. From 14th, 15th on back, all trying to find their own footing to go forward. A couple of drivers have been struggling off pace. That's TJ Calloway or Labertone, both struggling greatly. And Labertone looks to be might have a little bit of damage to that 44 is collected on the right side of his 44 machine. He continues to race on as well as he can. As the field up front, going back and forth. But Zach, this is where the chaos is. And a track that we've seen cautions always amount. I know in the past we had stage break yellows that kind of brought everyone back together, and some cautions kind of blossomed because of that. But we've had a minimum of 4 cautions in the past, 2 races that have had 6 cautions, 3 races that have had 8. And I'm curious on if we can have another caution-free race like we did last week, or if we're going to see that traditional Las Vegas turn where everything kind of just goes up in smoke and drivers start to accidentally run into one another at some point this evening.
Since it's Las Vegas in spirit, if I was a betting man, I would have to bet on the tonight. I just the way the racing is here, you just really are pretty stacked up in multi groups, and I just think at some point we might see somebody making a statement. It's just gonna end up probably happening. So I don't know if we'll go fully green here tonight, but hey. We did it last week, so anything is possible. All the things stacked up too. So these guys have been really great all season. Look at Stovall, big dive down to the inside of the 15, and that's a little bit of contact right there. This is some hard racing.
And And the main reason why a lap prior, Vincent Sora got caught up into a mixture with Smith and John Forbes just slightly tapping off the exit turn 4, checking up the 15 greatly, and it's forced him back in the spot where Vincent Sora's trying to pinch, trying to hold back Stovall, and it's hurting Stovall, and now it's going to be kind of a
people in the wall.
accordion effect of these drivers shipping up on one another. This grouping of 6, got to be careful, and Stovall's being the head driver that's being pushed around as we're seeing everyone up front. Here's the swing, Zach, that 20-lap run. Seeing drivers moving forward, those falling back. This is that danger zone where the caution could blossom from.
Man, good, man. I just seen some guys hitting the wall in the back straight away. They're using every bit of this racetrack here that they can. It's, you know, when the tires start to wear, you start to see them move around a little bit more multi-group action, and you're starting to see that actually here is now you can see in the background though you're breaking the last car in this back. He was starting to make the move, so everybody looking to make moves ahead, and even Sora looking to make his way back forward to Stovall, trying to hold into the position from Samuel Garcia, who needs a good run here tonight in that 50 machine. But here, look at this big run from the 74 of Crawford, and man, the huge shove, but it shoved the 74 into the wall when he hit it.
And that's one of those awkward moments where sometimes you believe you're just going to give a clean shot to somebody, and it ricochets and pulls you to the opposite direction. And for Crawford, luckily, he's okay.
I thought I could just bump you, but it turned my car instead of yours, I guess.
Little driver said, sorry, they continue on. And for Nick Crawford, he's a past winner of this race back in season 6, and he could find his way up front. This is one of those races where we've heard in the past Crawford always being humble about himself, saying that he feels like he's not the best driver saving tires, but we've seen it in the past. This could be a race where Crawford, if he finds the right strategy, finds the right way to save his tires, could be a driver up front watching.
Oh, wrecking on the front stretch.
Definitely a very modest driver when it comes to his skills is Nick Crawford. But
I thought I gave you half the car with, sorry.
Guys.
And it's Justin Smith collecting multiple drivers, and oh no! Tyler Dangler's involved!
Sorry about that, Justin. I thought you were going to stay in the middle of the track.
Pace cars out.
That is
Line up single file. Car number 8.
System.
Pace cars out. Pits are closed.
And just
Dang, the tire was just really starting to come in.
45, having trouble off the exit.
Pace car speed is 61 miles per hour.
And Eric Stamp also getting involved.
Turn 2. Alright, Dakota. Pace
Yeah,
car
me too.
just left.
Over, and here's the situation as Tyler Dangler, also Jesse Thorpe, they're going to be coming off the exit turn 4. There's the trouble ahead of them. They're both going to stay high, but it closes up quickly, and Dangler
speed is
getting
60
right
miles
into
per
that
hour.
bumper of the 45 machine of Justin Smith, and that could be
Pace car is just
the
left.
ending hopes of Dangler
yellow.
trying
It's
to
all
make it for the chase. Luckily, there's no required
Pace car's
damage
in,
for
turn
Dangler
3.
in the 19. That is a big shocker looking at the flag stand. It is just trouble of Eric Stamp as well as
Pace car speed
Justice
is
Smith.
59 miles per hour.
I'm going to need a different angle
I'm on
it
my
to
way
see
out
if
there,
maybe there's
Black.
a code, but
Anything has to
Zach,
happen.
hard aggressive racing when these tires were falling
10-4,
away.
buddy.
Definitely some aggressive racing. You're going to see right. Oh, definitely like a ton of net cut almost, actually. Just, it was kind of a weird angle as the camera turns there.
Yeah, just go in. Oh, they're black.
Definitely like some net code to me there, Sam.
Watch
so
your speed.
that is
Pit lane speed
super
limit is
unfortunate to
50
see
miles
because,
per hour.
of course, Tyler getting that. And, yeah, for the hit he took in the 19-2, I thought we were going to
Stop
see
again to
required
get to
damage
the
for the
end.
engine.
Box in.
See
5,
right
4,
here, is there any
3,
contact?
2.
No.
There's no contact. It just
Huge.
Box now.
It just washes the 45 around like there was contact in. Almost.
81, 87.
I mean, we've seen a couple of those almost. Probably should have been flips.
He was low.
And
So
no.
what flag did I
Grimace
miss
was
here?
not having the best time. Then gets on the brakes. At this point, you're just going with the momentum. And Thornick just sneaking through,
I had a
and Dangler
big
did
hit.
not. And we wait to see how much damage Tyler Dangler has collected
Say
with
that
this
for me
incident.
too,
But
I
that is a
understand.
driver who entered tonight 12th in points. He was running further back in the field, and what based off
I
his
think
positioning
someone might have
already,
kicked the
Dangler wasn't
cone
looking
and,
at a spot to
ran
move
over
on
where the
to
cone
race in
might
the
have been.
chase, but this almost makes it an absolute if he's not able to get rolling again.
Race car
And
speed is
Zach, I mean,
60 miles per
looking
hour.
at where Tyler Dangler runs right now, he's still in pit road getting repairs done, but he's part of a wide
I think
collection
part of my
of
problem is
drivers that
running
are
the
also
broadcast in
sitting
the
in pit road.
background.
Pace car is in.
Yeah,
Turn
it's
3.
a good little bit. There's about a group of about 5 or 6 of them sitting here still in pit road, or just leaving pit road now because of the pace car coming back around. But yeah, Tyler's.
But if y'all like it, I'll
knows
keep it on.
looking at it, it's. I mean, it's definitely
It's
damage,
alright.
but
I think that's
iRacing
a nice
does
little
some
touch.
amazing things. These pit crews do sometimes. They get that damage fixed pretty well. I think the biggest thing's going to be for him,
side you're gonna want.
is hopefully his
Pace car is in
RPMs
the
are,
tri-oval.
you know, fully up. And what we mean by that, folks, is you can kind of tell if your motor's hurt
Follow car
by
number
looking at
60
your RPMs.
in the outside lane.
Your engine's actually idle.
Get ready. Race will resume at the end of
Tyler
this
will be
lap.
able to tell if he has engine power loss or not. So hopefully, cross our fingers, no injury.
Although for Vegas, for real
Maybe
though,
just
I might
aero that get
just
fixed up throughout the race.
And with this time of the yellow, we were just about to bring up the point of seeing the massive change of movement the drivers were having. Tire speed-wise, those drivers are getting pretty close to being almost 2 seconds off of their fastest lap. Just 20 laps in. That was a pretty massive fall-off that we were seeing from these drivers. I'm curious on what knowledge they're going to learn, because it kind of felt like I know there's no stage racing anymore this season, but it kind of felt like a stage in a way. A lot of hard, aggressive racing, a lot of knowledge picked up. I'm curious, Zach, if we're going to see that aggression go even more harder this go around, or drivers going to be a little bit more patient on saving their tires. It's going to be a big knowledge point of, are we going to see another caution blossom from this incident?
Yeah, this will be a telltale sign, of course. And I wasn't surprised to see, you know, a lot of these drivers come to pit road. I mean, this is the high tire wear track, so we'll see how they change their mindset here, and we'll see how this shakes up, you know, a little bit of the strategy and how they play it out here coming down to it. We'll see how
okay, Dakota, the pace car has just left.
Jesse Thornock's going to stay in pit road. Everyone else simply get back out on track, and it's Jesse Thornock going to be the driver who waits and who hopes for another caution to get back into this thing with Jared Talmadge, Ethan Smith back on the loud pedal. We're green once again for the Wheelin and Dealin. 150. 27 laps now started in the outside row once again, not able to get going at all. They are still just slowly moving. It's all Talmadge in green with the huge takeoff and go.
Still there.
Definitely a great start there. Exactly what he wants. The teammate Thomas Green there is now. Look at John Forbes.
Still there.
He takes a look to the inside, 3 wide, similar to what we see
Hold your line
from Ethan Smith. John Forbes is going to do the same, but almost make contact here. Great racing as they're going to come to the line. And the flag stand, it looks like this time around is maybe going to be
Hold your line.
Talmadge, Forbes, as well as going to be seeing Thomas Green, Vincent Sorf for a quick moment.
All right, later, bud.
Thinks better of it. Instead, will stay in line with his teammate of John Forbes on the inside. Big pushes all around, but they continue to stay 3 wide for the lead, and Forbes finally able to clear for himself. Behind them, Trent Jump, Ethan Smith, grazing up the wall. Gotta be careful for those drivers as the teammates stay side by side for a second. We fall back to the drivers outside the top 10 though, because they're 2 wide, 3 wide. Watch out as they go into turn number 1.
Danny Cochran, I mean, the past winner here in Vegas, he is looking to get his way up towards the front. He's really been climbing his way through. No practice, no qualifying lap. And the 2 machine definitely making quick work of the field here as he's up to almost the 11th position here after he's going to be looking to actually get to the top 10 with this passing Michael Miller.
As they continue to go back and forth up front, they continue to graze the wall. I don't know if that's hard contact or just visual effects we are seeing on our end, but a lot of drivers willing to get aggressive off the exit of turn 4. Got to keep our eyes out on drivers accidentally drifting too far up. We do have a report on Jesse Thornock, who's involved in that first caution. He is officially called it a night, so we're left with 27 drivers out there on track. And Ali Fonseca just going to be the Piper at that moment, just leading the way, 7th on back, but up front, oh, it's past champions.
Ooh, it's about to kill them all there.
Trying to get way around if it's Sora and Jared Talmadge, but there's just no space to go for this Armadillo Motorsports driver.
He's going to take it all the way to the top of the roof here and try to utilize that top lane, but I think that's just going to hurt the tires burning things. It really seems like it's been working down here in 3, 4, 1, and 2. It hasn't been as readily available, so we'll see him take it all the way again here to the top side. 3 and 4 has seemed a little bit quicker up here, I'd say, compared to 1 and 2. You'll see here he's going to get a pretty decent run. As you see again another rush of the wall there at the end of the Sora, just a slight tap.
That was 31.25.
Well, small little grazes here and there. I'm curious if we can bring up the weather. 32 laps in of 150 as Trent Jump trying to find his way to get further up inside of the top 5. Looking pretty good currently, but weather-wise, Zach, it's still hot on track. It's 96 degrees on track temp. Ambient temperature 83 degrees Fahrenheit. Wind has been gusting up and down, but above the 10 miles per hour window. But that 96 degrees track temp, that's probably going to be the factor we talk about all throughout tonight, because we just got that massive cloud coverage. It felt like this race was under nighttime conditions.
Pretty much single file
for a
throughout most
moment
of the
there.
field right now.
The sun's now baking on this surface. I'm curious on how the weather changes could affect these tracks as well.
I mean, it is crazy to see the difference when the clouds come over this track to when the clouds are not over the track. I mean, just the difference in the viewing, you know, of our cameras here is completely different. So right now, of course, the clouds have went away, but that track should start to heat up, and as it does that, it should
Okay, to
you know,
go to
create a little bit more
consistency, keep it
separation
up.
and a little bit more tire wear, a little more tire fall off. So we'll see if that continues on. But as they also lay rubber down the track, that kind of takes it away too. So as this race gets farther into it, I think the track temperature will not only go down, but the rubber will be laid down. You'll see the speeds pick up and pack racing even more.
Speaking about tire wear and rubber being placed down, something I'm noticing looking at this session, different from what I think I've seen in past sessions. Usually the drivers start out with practice, they're doing an hour practice, then their 2 laps of qualifying, then the 5 minutes of warm-ups into the featured race, and the track conditions carry forward throughout all of them. We started usually at 30%. Tonight, 50% tire wear, grip level wear already placed down. With practice, qualifying, warm-ups, now this race, how is that affecting these drivers here tonight?
And it's always interesting too with the
Following Josh's tire tracks right now.
I've always felt of iRacing, you know, because when you get that percentage, you know, it's 30% rubber, right? You know, where tonight's 50%, that's an extra 20% supposedly it's added onto the racing surface before we came into practice and qualifying. That added what the rubber the drivers have laid down. So it kind of, I feel like, well, when you had that 50%, it almost just spreads the rubber farther, and it kind of spreads the groove out. That groove will get a little bit wider, quicker. And I think that's why we're seeing, if anything, the track looks like the groove is very wide with the rubber almost.
We got a question out there from Highball. Can I cook an egg on the track? I wouldn't recommend it. I don't think it's hot enough to cook an egg just yet. It would have to get a little bit warmer than it is right now. But it's certainly, it would be a good effort to try. I wouldn't eat it, though, as these drivers all in line.
They're not getting a good entry into one there.
That's going to be Nick Crawford. This is 10th on back with Logan breaking and Isaac Shelley has done a great job of trying to get into the mix as he's almost inside of the top 10. I'm looking at how these drivers are running. This is the wait, be patient group. Danny Cochran's done everything
Fucking as hard as I can.
This run. Now it's wait for the next 7 to 8 laps when we see that big swing on tire wear as Isaac Shelley now poking the nose. He wants to move forward even more as that 98 machine. He started all the way in the last with the penalty that was carried over from last week at Auto Club. He's done a great job to go from 28th, now battling for 12th.
This is huge for Isaac. He really needs to continue to climb his way forward here and get himself up into the picture up front. So, got to make this pass, but braking, not making it easy. Cuts back underneath here. He's going to look to get back around Shelley, but Shelley, I think you're going to put it on the quarter panel on the door. Try to go around the outside there as the 98 will get it done. Put him up to 12th now, the 98 moving forward.
As Logan breaking out, will have to settle in at 13th. And Garcia and Wilcoons, they have to find their own settle point of how do you want to pressure and go forward with this race. Ali Fonseca currently running in 7th position.
Pretty spread out now.
To be the Tyler Dangler still runs in 27th place. Looking at his lap times,
still there.
It looks like there is some engine damage just based off the pace. He was not able to keep up with the lead pack. It's tough for the 19 as he's just going to have to cross his fingers and hope that some of his competition has mistakes, gets caught up in trouble, so the 19 can sneak his way into the chase because he just doesn't have the engine anymore to
Reports
run.
are saying that
Just
he
based off
somehow
his
shut his
speed
truck off.
to get into the chase in the next 2 weeks.
Got the Corey Hahn
Completely
syndrome.
agree. Yeah, it's just too much damage. I mean, right now, 16 and a half seconds back from the leader, so
was at
he's more than
31.76.
halfway already from going a lap down.
Course
So
caution, be careful.
Tyler definitely going to need some type of yellow to go.
Oh, and speaking of it, there's a yellow, there's a caution. It's the 7 and Cody Smith going around on the front stretch.
16.
Okay.
That
We're
was
under caution. Pits
the
are
most
closed.
timed yellow
Catch up to
ever
car
when I said
number
it, but
16.
sorry for that, Cody. Is we
Cody
got
Reed's
the
got
yellow,
speed
and
right now.
61
61
miles
miles
per
per
hour.
hour.
That is much needed for
The
that.
pace car's in,
19
turn
damage.
2.
Way too much.
The pace car is
It's
just
actually
left.
pretty
The
quiet.
second caution of the day. Labertone have to say they usually will avoid this one. So here's our replay of what happened. The 7 all on his lonesome goes down into turn
Pace car
3,
speed
and
is
at this
61
moment
miles
we've
per
seen
hour.
drivers' tires kind of fall away. Been too aggressive. Looks like for Smith's been too aggressive. Exit the corner, brushes the wall, just sends himself
Well, this is
into the
interesting.
grass. And at
The
this
runner had to
point,
go
you're
through sets of
hoping to
tires.
Slow down.
It's
He
all right,
finally
but-
does.
He's a bit
Cars
early to
isn't
come in.
Traffic and bring out our second caution of the day.
Cody Smith, luckily, not going to get too much more damage than hitting the outside
Again,
wall.
we get a long run.
There to spun him around, but yeah, that definitely helps a few, and others now are going to be questioning, what do you do for tires now? Do you go ahead and spin another set this early? It's definitely, you know, burning 2
I figure
sets
this might be a
pretty quickly.
mixed bag. Ooh, got 2 people staying out, 3 people staying out, 4 people staying out.
To work with here this evening, and
What's your speed limit in the pits?
already before we were even done with lap 50 would put yourself in the back foot, because then you're banking on this race
We'll need to
staying
stop.
This is gonna be interesting.
5,
losing at least one set, maybe
4,
saving one late
3,
in the
2,
race.
1.
This is putting you
Box
everyone
now.
that pits now in a spot where you kind of have to save your last, your final 2 sets for
Tires
Front
at
right,
93.
this race.
Front left,
As
98%.
those drivers are up front, that's Thomas Green and others entering pit road. Some just splashing with fuel and go, and that's what we're seeing a lot of. It's just fuel only for most of the drivers that went into pit road.
I like that call from a few of those guys, man. That is it's an excellent decision, I think, there to be made, because, I mean, yes, okay, if you do take tires here and it goes green all the way to the end, I think the tires actually do win out, because, you know, the amount of stops you would need to make green flag wise, you'd have the tires there.
All right.
I do think you want to save the sets here.
So looks like the top 7 stayed out. I thought about it. I'm not gonna lie, to save a set of tires,
a few
but
extra sets there just for
Race
backup.
cars
Oh,
in,
man.
turn 3.
We did have, though, some drivers deciding to take another set of tires. Going to be their second of 4 that they had in pit road to use. Oli Fonseca, Nick Crawford, Joshua Stovall, Samuel Garcia, as well as Malik
still
Coombs,
2-stop race
Joshua
anyway,
Kanata
so.
using a set, Mark Labertone back in 20th position, just topping off with fuel,
course yellow.
and Dakota
It's
Moniz at
open.
21st, took a set of tires with
Taking
Mark
the higher
Morales
list,
as
that's right.
well.
'Cause if it goes
Also
green the
getting
whole
more
way,
damage there was
technically,
Mark
yeah, we
Morales
still
with
stop.
all
Let
the
me
way,
think about it.
Justin Smith, Tyler Dangler, as well as Justin Forbes and Cody Smith, all going to get some extra damage repair for themselves. I mean, Zach, looking at those drivers
Follow
that
car
did
number
decide to take a
44.
set of
Follow car
tires,
number
any of them that you're
77.
shocked by?
The
Because I
outside
know
car.
one I'm not. That's
Race
Nick
cars in this
Crawford.
lap.
I think he's learned. He's always taking a set of tires whenever he can.
Yeah, I think you know, he knows when to roll the dice, and I think, like I said, if it goes green, it very well can happen. These guys are very talented; they can get it done. If it goes green, that is the strategy I think we want to be on, because the amount of fall off we were starting to see from those tires was quite considerable. I mean, there was definitely some fall off showing there, so I think tires will help, but you definitely want to have an extra set just in case. So those drivers that took them will feel good now if we go green, but as soon as that yellow flag comes out, they're going to be questioning what they can do next for their strategy.
Food talk seems to be the thing of the chat here this evening. Your ISRC title sponsor, Larry Productions, is out there in chat.
45
asking,
blinking.
"Can I
You'd
cook
love
a
to see it."
burger on the track?" I don't know if you can, Larry, but I know what would make you a great video. And if you want to see some great videos, head on over to Larry Art Productions on social media sites as well as on YouTube. He's got great food reviews. Larry, I'd love to see you go to a track and try to cook a burger there and see that review of yourself as these drivers get set up for a get up and go moment. Second caution of the day is done.
All right, Dakota, the pace car is just left.
Trip and jump. Who will have the better go as you're wheeling and dealing? 150 is
green,
back
let's go.
underway. Watch out for those drivers back in 15th on back. How well do they go? And already wheel spin up.
We just died on the inside row.
Down to the inside. He's off into the grass. We stay green, but already trouble with those older tires. And Ricky, a nightmare for himself as the rest of the field leaves and exits that turn
Hey,
two.
can I get a black clear for our
First
pedestrian? I just want to hear it.
Oh, got my answer.
So now he's going to go full speed before the exit. Yeah, I mean, that is just a market breaker for him. So we'll see how he can get back up to speed, because the pack is already coming out of Ford, and he's on the apron between 1 and 2.
You got a car on the
I
left
would
side.
not be surprised if he goes
16.
down here.
And the last lap was
Yeah, they're already
33.70.
They're going to be stacked
Still there.
by 3 in the middle of this field, and it's the
Still
drivers
there.
that took fresh set of tires trying to make their way through
Still
as
there.
quickly as possible. Nick Crawford just looks impatient in the middle
Still
of
there.
that. Up front is shred jump. Logan Brayton, his teammate, leading
Still
the
there.
charge over Ethan Smith. Isaac Shelley winning a
Still
lead
there.
lap. This would be important for the 96. He
Three,
needs
up top.
an extra bonus point to assist them
Still
if
there.
there comes down to position gains on who's in or out for making the chase later on
Still
in
there.
this race. As Trent
left
Jump
time was at
leads another lap. He
51.3
looks
straight.
solid at this moment, but Oli Fonseca, who took a set of tires, the 24, is looking like a rocket ship, and Shelley might not even have a chance to lead a lap.
If very well might not have an opportunity. This Fonseca is coming, like you said, and I think also you can see the 42 of Joshua Stowe. Looks like he's making a charge forward here too. He's on 4 fresh tires also, so watch out for the 42 and the 24 as they're carving their way through the field.
Take the inside route, that's where you want to be.
It's not clear there,
Force. Then they'll go to the apron. Hope you got some space to move up high. And the 24, the 42, they've got the grip. There's the speed difference, and it's Ali Fonseca. Stovall, gas it up and go as Ali Fonseca to the point, and now going to be trying to lead this lap as Ethan Smith just gets to watch, and you hope that maybe a caution comes out in the next 5 to 6 laps, so that if you take a set of tires, you're in the advantage. As Ali Fonseca and Stovall, this is the hard decision. Do you just pull ahead as quickly as you can, or do you try to salvage a little bit of these tires?
Still there. I think if anything, you try to pull a little bit of a gap here and try to manage still like that. It's hard to say to do both, but you still there. That is what you try to do, is go as fast as possible, without damaging the tires too much, because it really can help you if you can break the draft in the driver's next on tires. But I think the problem is Nick Crawford now, he's going to clear Ethan Smith.
Well, I wanted to take a wider corner, but I didn't want to take the bottom from me.
He's starting to get a little dicey. It should put him up in there, but it looks like
I think I took some air up the right rear. Yeah, right.
Their rating is they continue to try to make their way and pulling away in the middle of the path. There are still some other drivers with fresh rubber that are making their charge to the inside of 3 wide. You saw there in the back of the picture. It's Samuel Garcia who's trying to make the move to the inside row of the 50 machine. Doesn't want to wait. Pushes Selly into jump. And Shelly jump. Ooh, they hold on for now. But other drivers getting close to the outside wall. They look like Michael Miller.
You're going to get it. I want to call until like he bumped into me, so I probably should have done the tires.
He's the next one on fresh rubber trying to get through this pack, and just seeing how dangerous it is to use these tires through the pack when there's such a big speed difference through the corners.
It is. Wow, this is speed difference. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing about the trucks here. You see a lot of fall off, but you don't see a lot of separation. So when you get tire differences, you get to see these big, massive packs.
You're alive. Time was 31.6 seconds.
So it is very, very eye-catching, and it definitely shows up. Right now, a lot of these drivers who took that fuel just right back here, jump 0-0. It's sort of back here. It's like they're really just trying to continue to take this down here, and hopefully the strategy will come to them, because if anything, if it goes green, they're going to have a lot of time to make it.
Seeing some of the drivers with tires.
Yeah, it's a question that everyone
be able to still there. As John Force and Sora going back and
still there.
This
just
and as I'm watching at the lap time,
still there.
With that last caution, Tyler Taylor getting repairs done. That 19 running similar pace to Vincent Sora and John Force. Now they're stuck in traffic, but that is great news to hear for the 19. His hopes are not done. He just needs a caution to get back into the mix as Joshua Stovall takes the lead, and the Brown crew can rise because Stovall is trying to pull away, already up at 3/10 over Fonseca.
Okay, well,
Stovall definitely not saving anything.
Drove away up the 5th so far.
This can help you here, and even Nick Crawford to help pull him up here, because you let the
I feel so bad, but I'm so happy.
Around while you save your tires through the corners, utilize the draft to just stay close enough to him to pull you around the track. So, another thing, Samuel Garcia, he's dropped in a packet loss. That is huge.
Heartbreak. People drivers over the radio are just are heartbroken right now. Garcia was a part of the cluster of drivers that just carved their way through the field and used the set of tires, and Garcia is now 2 laps down, still is not reconnected in, and he was one of the drivers that was hoping to steal his way into the playoffs, and instead he could be missing out on a heartbreaking push out. Oh my goodness, that is a worst case scenario for the 50 machine, as it is just a network error that takes him out of the server. Still no signs of him getting back in. He finally does, but he's 3 laps down. He's probably going to be about 5 to 6 laps down before he even can get back on track. This is terrible for Samuel Garcia.
Garcia was doing everything right, and just an unfortunate situation. That is the number one thing that all sim racers fear in a situation like this, is to have something technical like that happen. And yeah, that is heartbreaking, man. As soon as I saw that name there in connection drop, literally my mouth dropped to the floor, because that is such a huge moment, and again, heartbreaking for a driver that really deserved an opportunity.
Your last lap time was at 31.80.
In the 2 as he's trying to hold back the 99 machine of Michael Miller to the inside. Behind them, Ryan Ferraro, Vincent Zora, as well as John Forbes, slowly making their charge forward is the 15 and the 11. We're getting to that
Justin,
spot
look at
where
us.
we're in the
We
zone
wrecked
of
each
those
other
tires.
and we're back up
where
here
they-
racing.
Once they're getting heated up enough, we've seen all the
I just
slip
keep
and
getting
slide,
random
drivers
attack
drifting
and
up to that outside wall. So be careful for the next 5 laps.
Miller.
Oh no! He spun
Of
around this
course.
Miller! Oh, and they continue to
Overtone,
pile in!
Parker
More drivers do!
Right.
Dangler's involved again! And caution is out for the 3rd time!
I had
never
a
mind.
feeling that was going to happen. I watched the 99 there on the exit.
Of course.
Felt like there was not going to be an opportunity for him to keep.
Needed
up.
to stay green,
Saw
too.
the speed the 10 was
Needed
going
to stay
down,
green.
And they were just, their paths were going to come together at some point. Unfortunately, it looks like that's what happened.
All that
Race
work,
car speed
all
is
the repairs,
61
there
miles
for
per hour.
nothing for
Race car
Tyler
is in
Dangler.
turn 2.
And here's the incident of Miller going around, and then here comes the absolute just no regard for any of the drivers. Labertone slams his way in, and that's the finishing blow for Ryan Ferraro and also Tyler Dangler. Because
Tyler, you
Dangler went from all of his damage finally
annoying.
repaired
I
from
mean,
that first
I'm
caution
fast drunk,
to required
but,
damage
yeah.
for himself here tonight. Oh, that
Fucking
is...
annoying, bro.
Oh man, you're
All the
smoking.
playoff runs are just
are open.
falling apart.
The pace car is in turn 3.
Yeah, they are just before our eyes. Las Vegas showing up as whole. I think that was, like you said, from
Well,
Laboratory's point of view.
can't take tires now. He's got like 2 sets of tires last for 90 laps.
Ran right into all that mess, and yeah, for Dingler, it's right front suspension damage that's required. So yeah, it's going to be a lengthy repair.
And
for
these
that
guys are gonna
crew.
pit, aren't they?
Yeah, watching all that situation play out there,
boy.
so I wasn't surprised to see all that because the
I hope you don't
99
make
was
it
sliding
down
around
my
the 10 was
back,
coming, some of
The
the
leader, Stovall, is pitting.
coming together. So this is so unfortunate for this grouping here.
Forces my hand here.
To stop the
Yeah,
gap.
and
really big
I
job.
know
I
also
think
for
we
some
can
of
have
them, they're being kind
3,
of worried
2,
and scared.
1.
Yeah, I
because
think
they've
we would
got
have been
Vince
good with
Stewart and
just a
John
little bit of
Forbes
damage,
just
but
bearing down on this group, so they're trying to hold position, but also get out of the way
Front right,
to allow the 15 to
251.
11 to
Fahrenheit,
drive on
left
by.
front,
And
240.
it just all
Fahrenheit.
comes together. There's just nothing to do, and I think both Justin Smith and Dangler and Eric Stamp might have been all right.
I got the too much
even
damage,
with those
we're done.
contacts that they had, but it was just that final blow by the 44 that just ruined it.
Dude, I don't even know how I
Ryan
did that.
Ferraro and others. Dangler was able to get the required damage flag removed.
Like,
for
what's going
himself.
on here?
That's a good sign. The unfortunate sign, as you see there on the right front, there is that side panel is gone. It's missing. You can see the engine, and that is that's not what you want to see on this truck.
Well, this is interesting. One set of tires left. Those other guys have 2 sets of tires.
Right
Car
for a fender
number
missing.
16.
It's going to be a huge amount of downforce loss, drag everything.
Okay,
so
Dakota. Our
it's
fuel
gonna be
window
tough, but
opens on lap
yeah, with
102.
that situation
We'll end
here,
on lap
we had
Nick, did you get
107.
your tires?
it
The
stopped
race car's
happening.
in turn 3.
It's like the drivers.
I don't want to talk about it.
What, did they take 2 or
This just got gas.
Some took fuel, but
Y'all
Nick
want
Crawford
to
took
win
sets of
already?
tires.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Is
He's
Crawford did-
he's only
Next
has
up, doing
one
Kelly
set
strategy.
left. We're not even halfway in this race. He's already used 3 sets.
Well, if he would stay green for more than 20 laps.
Okay, well, I
Yeah,
guess
no
you
kidding.
could
I mean,
make it a
he's-
one
he-
stop technically, but
I mean, he's in the points. He's in the chase. We're just shocked by it. He knows he's good, and this is what Nick Crawford does. This is why Nick is a great driver, but Nick Crawford will
Follow car
always
number
do the oddball
77 in the
strategies
outside
than
column.
others,
We're
and it
going
looks
green
like
next
it
time
is
back.
Well, we put ourselves in a hole.
And then I'll take
A lot of other
finish
people are in a hole
at
too,
that
though.
point. As we are 61 laps in of 150. Thank you so much for joining with us, for all that are here with us. It has been a fun race overall to call here at Las Vegas for the Wheelin Dealin 150 of the ISRC Lara Productions Truck Series Season 8, Race 9. This is the last race of the regular season. The drivers will be taking next week off. They'll have an all-star break at Bristol. Kind of having a fun format with that one, with having drivers get inverted after heat races. It's going to be a fun one for them to race in. And then we're back in 2 weeks for the start of the chase. And what a start. Talladega.
It's going to be interesting how we navigate this restart.
Presumed just to be 12. 12
Ali will be
top
going
12
into the
points
wall
make it in the
and
chase.
taking
If you're
Silva with us.
13th to 20th in points with a win, you're an additive driver.
Please no.
See if anyone can be an additive driver here this evening. Otherwise, we cross our fingers and
Hope
hope
y'all
for the
don't
best. It's our
spin.
caution of the day, the least amount of cautions we've had here
Nah,
in Las
we're
Vegas in
grooving.
the past. was season 6 with 4 cautions. We've had 6 cautions twice,
Sorry.
8 cautions 3 times in the past.
Eric, I'm gonna go to the
here
apron
by the
at the
end.
start
As
finish
lap
line.
61 comes to an end. It's Ollie
car
Fonseca,
is just
Joshua
left.
Stovall. They took fuel only. Nick Crawford, Ethan Smith, Thomas Green, and others behind. They took more tires. Is the wheel spin, or are we good? Into the restart zone. We're green as Fonseca gets the clean launch.
Clean launch for Fonseca here. Let's see how long the older tires can hang on. It's
Still there.
Only for our top 2 is Crawford, like I said,
wide.
took
You're
the 4
outside.
tires. We'll see what he can do with
You're up
those.
top, very wide.
He is definitely banking on this race.
Still there.
Too many yellows, because if it does, it is going to be a
Still there.
decision for that 74 once we get farther into
Hold
the
your
race.
line.
But it's about to get wild here.
74. Just now. 3 wide up top.
Everyone going high, low, anywhere you
Inside
can go.
zone.
It's
Love you,
Thomas
Ollie.
Green as well as Nick Crawford making the passes up.
Mwah.
Get by the
Inside.
leaders,
Three
but in the middle
cars
of
wide,
having
right.
3 wide. It's
Michael, if you got 3 wide,
trying to find their own footings to
Still
go
there.
forward. And it's Thomas
all
Green
around.
and Crawford will go side by side for the lead position.
Oh
As
my
it
goodness.
is a cluster. Pick your lane. Hope it's the one going forward. And currently, we keep it all together for now, but with how close everyone is, some of the bump traffic unseen. Zach, this is nerve-wracking if you're out there driving.
This is wild.
Well, I gotta
stuff
keep my
right
track
here, man.
position.
This is exactly what Las Vegas does. It puts on the show. Is now Fonseca going to be put in the
Car
middle
high.
here? As you're going to see Trent jump take it to the bottom.
Still
now
there.
So maybe we're going to think about 4 wide there for a
Still
moment.
there.
This is
Outside clear.
behind Trent jumping. He thought better of it, because if that was 4 wide, I don't know if they would have lasted.
I mean, that is the second, maybe third time that Cesaro's been in a similar situation, and every time he's backed out. Doesn't want to force it 4 wide just yet. Might have to later on in this race if he wants to make some big moves to go forward, but currently being patient has worked out on at least getting back up front. You know, stalling now currently until these tire wears start to fall off. We'll see how that goes as Thomas Green, Nick Crawford, Ethan Smith, Isaac Shelley, and Malik Coots going to be your top 5, but that 5th place spot might be changing his jump as well as Shelley. Malik Coots, they get close on the entry of the corner, find space in the center, and it's Malik Coots in 77 who will take the advantage to move up into 4th.
Man, this is some excellent racing. Now you got a teammates.
Get a car on the high side.
You'll see Vincent make the pass
Hold that
into
line.
Danny Cochran now. Still trying to slide up here. Is
Still there.
Shelley
Outside clear.
trying to hang
Yellow.
on here onto the quarter panel, and that is what a lot of this racing is. It's just trying to find the right lane to move
Okay,
yourself.
so
Sometimes
the next
you place
car
yourself
is
in the wrong
Jarrett.
lane,
Car
you'll go
number
backwards to
27.
the momentum.
The rating
And
is
this fits sort
4.9.
3 wide. He's going to look for the momentum on the inside here. Pull the side draft on the side of Malik Coots.
Trying to pull the 77 back, Trent jump, pushes Shelley forward.
Oh, they're about to wreck up there.
98, but now
Oh.
46 line up on the outside.
Who's that?
Every lap
Danny.
as Danny Cochran gets into the wall, slices down. Luckily, there was enough space. We keep it green as the 2 almost saw his hopes of tonight's run falling away off the bumper of his teammate Forbes.
Their rating
As
is
the 2, you can see
4.5.
losing a lot of grip, but also as the 46 Trent jumped all the different ways you can go around the corners. It's so fun seeing these aerial shots. Because of the way oval racing is, you only think, turn left. That's all you have to do. Go straight, turn left. But Zach, you're seeing all the different angles these drivers are taking to maximize their speed.
Slicing and dicing up there.
This is John Forbes. He's going to drop it all the way to the apron here. 3 wide. He's going to be up top. Malik Coots in the middle. Is this
Consistency.
a
Keep it
little
up.
bit hairy down here? Is now
Are they 4 wide? They're 4 wide.
Jumps at 3 rows deep. It's
4
4 wide.
wide. Hold on, hold your breath. They're bumping and banging and squeezing around. John Forbes, Malik Coots, they're coming back to the track. Oh no! Jerry Tolman
What was up with all that?
wiped out, and the rest of the field has to get
now we're
around
fucking-
him.
File.
Red
Car
car.
number 27. Follow car number 77. You're ahead of a guy you should be behind. You need to catch up to the guy ahead.
Did you miss that?
Race car speed is 90 miles
Sure
per hour.
did.
Pace car is in turn 2.
Okay, good. I tried to back off to give you enough room to brake, but I thought I'd come in from 2.5 miles away.
Almost collecting Logan Brakey.
Nope, you did good. I wasn't even worried about you, buddy.
4 wide was not going to
I
work.
trust
Yes,
you.
there's space to do it,
Well, of course, yellow.
but there's
It's
the
around.
move, squeezing it 4 wide, and it's just a
car's in,
pinball
turn
in the
three.
Yeah, we're
middle.
staying out this time.
Forbes, Malik,
Shelley
comes
or Crawford, how
screaming
bad is my
back,
front or left side?
taps into Tolman. I mean, Tolman's
For anybody.
got the least of it, but Sean Forbes, each and every week, it's
Yeah, we obviously
what
gotta stay out
safety
here.
he makes,
Not come
and
down
there's
and take our
another
last
one
set of
to add
tires
to his
here.
collection.
That'd just be stupid.
Yeah, that one was wild as he saw his life flash before his eyes. And yeah, Talmadge, I mean, it looked a lot worse for him than I thought it was. I mean, we'll have to see how it all ends up actually for him. But
Belly.
Yeah, that was a
that was my left side look.
There is. You're gonna see here again. It was 3x3.
Looks like
here.
temperature's decreasing. It's now 94.
Okay, I got a 4x. I didn't know how bad it was. I got a slight bit of damage.
Those three all come together up top. John Forbes just kind of minding his own business, and it all comes down to ricochet towards him, and then they're just stuck together, wrecking it. From there, the 77's coming back up. It's just chaos.
Your left side on my screen's fine.
John Forbes is probably going to see that on his TikTok from his point of view. What a save by the 11 there. And Elf now only be in 8th place because he kept it straight.
Right side has some scrapes, but nothing
bent. All those other drivers, I mean, this is a caution. 10 laps into this run. Who's willing to take tires and who doesn't? And for the first time tonight, Nick Crawford does not enter pit road. He uses a set of tires and stay out.
With you in the wall.
Yeah, I think his hands were forced.
Yeah, I got sandwiched between the 77 and you.
Strategy, but I think he's luckily going to have a lot of people stay out here with him.
I was doing all I could to not move, and then I just got forced up, and I was like, great.
Does help is the likes of like Ali Fonseca. Is actually
we need to catch.
I figured looking to the left kind of as it was happening.
They elected to stay back out. I mean, maybe not electing to use a set here again, like and put themselves.
Okay,
in
well that was interesting.
Well, they're probably deciding not to come down this time.
A couple of drivers that did take a set of tires during this caution going to be Mark Morales as well as Joshua Stovall. Stovall's going to fall down to 17th position. You got to be careful if you're Stovall. Again, Stovall's not in the most comfortable spot entering tonight. He only had a 5-point
Are you a bottom
buffer
or a top?
over Samuel Garcia, only a 6-point buffer over Ali Fonseca. And it's not the most comfortable feeling.
Yeah, those bottoms are pretty silent.
Okay, Dakota, get ready. Race will resume
Stovall,
at the end
he's
of
going
this
to have
lap.
to be right in the mix of all this. Carve his way forward like we've seen all these other drivers do throughout the night. And hope that he's not caught up in the mess. But who knows, with some of the racing action we've been seeing, the middle of the field, even though it looks so chaotic, might be the safest place to be. As up front, they're slicing and dicing back and forth, going 2-3 wide. In the back, they're going 3 wide. The middle, yes, they're going 4 wide and 3 wide, but they seem to keep together more often than not.
All right, well.
Man, this is living up to Las Vegas. It is always.
Didn't expect it to be this caution field, but
it's just a wild race, and it doesn't surprise me. The trucks here at Las Vegas can race very, very aggressively, so it really can put on a ton of fun scenes for us up here in the booth. I feel like so we really appreciate Las Vegas, and I'm sure a lot of these drivers enjoy it too. So we'll see who can pull it off, but I think we got a lot in store still for us.
As drivers about to get ready to roll off from this restart, we do have some updates of drivers further on back. Again, Jesse Thornick, Ryan Ferraro, they are out of this race. Tyler Dangler still sits in pit road 11 laps down. Samuel Garcia was able to get reconnect back in, only 4 laps down. The trouble is that multiple drivers just down. You got Justin Smith 1 lap down, Emily Kuntz currently 2 laps down. So he's going to need a lot of cautions to see who can be the next lucky Dilla. But up front, Thomas Green, Nick Crawford, or Green once again here for the Wheelin Dealin 150 at Las Vegas. The teammates, the perfect restart, and contact before we even get into turn number 1. Trent Jump, I don't think he's going to be liking that move as drivers are sending it down into turn number 1.
They are all their touching bumpers behind.
Please don't do it in front of me.
Pushed by his teammate against Saunders. Now they're going to wiggle down the backstretch with 3 wide. Cocker's going around the outside. John Forbes after his big slide away around those tires are filling. He's going to work around the bottom of 3 wide. So this is just showing you these drivers right after.
Tritton, I promise the idea was to help you there. I wasn't ready for that.
If you follow the horse, get back on it. And that's exactly what we're seeing. They
You're
were
dead.
right
No
back
worries.
to 2-3, sometimes 4 wide. 4 wide doesn't work very often, and they will single file out front. And oh boy, contact with Vincent Soar and John Forbes. They are the teammates. They're probably the scariest ones around one another currently.
Yeah, they are. They're willing.
Sorry, I was trying to lift and not come up and do so then
less than I feel like a lot of other drivers.
That's okay. I blocked you to the apron, so I think that's even.
Still there. Guaranteed the regular season championship. These guys are out here having some fun.
I'll join for that.
Really put on show.
Well, you saw that Crawford, Trent John, contact at the initial start of that last restart, and looks like a little bit of retaliation bumping off the exit turn 4. They both go off the radio. Is that fair game? And they get back and squared away. As Vincent Soar, Danny Cochran giving each other the bump down into turn number 3. We've seen that scenario go wrong back in the past. That's how Danny Cochran got the win back in season 1. Was a bad bump between the teammates as they continue to race on. Here's a driver who can be a sneaky steal. Martin Morales, look back to the past here at Las Vegas.
Somebody got fresh tires.
Still there.
Could have been the one time that Martin could have gotten a
Still
win.
there.
It was one lap away. Got spun off the
Still
nose
there.
of GT Zari and the 91 here
Hold your
tonight.
line.
If he can get into victory lane as well, can get inside the top 20 in points, he could be making the chase as Morales up to 9th place with his fresh rubber.
Total position. Okay, Dakota.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
distance.
if
34 laps remaining on this track.
That very well, and a lot of guys who, you know, might not have to pace on a weekly basis every time to compete up front. This is a place I think it kind of
Look at the run that 91 car got.
The next car is car
And if you have that tire advantage like he has right now, you definitely make big things happen. And Martin is having a great time because he is slicing through the field and he's loving what he's seeing.
He's one of the very few drivers that took a set of tires on that last restart.
That was
So he wants to
at
lap advantage
139.
as he will send it 3 wide into turn number 1. And trust in his fate to get underneath John Forbes. Forbes gets clear of Cochran, and they are clear to take off and go. And out in front of Mark is going to be the 2 machine, who currently, as we are over halfway, or first half, Whiplash Simcam's biggest mover of the day goes to the 2 with Danny
Oh
Cochran.
my god, here comes all the guys on fresh tires.
No qualifying attempt. He just showed up during warm-ups, and he has been having a great run, up 22 positions from where he started here tonight after qualifying and where he got placed on the grid. 2. Congratulations on being our Whiplash Simcam's biggest mover of the first half of the race. We'll see who takes that award at the end of this evening. And as Juan Morales takes another spot, he's now cracked in the top 5.
Definitely utilizing those tires to the full advantage. That 91 is always going to look to maybe make the move on the 15, but it's Soares going to close the door, but have to slide on the racetrack as the 91's coming through. Is now Martin up to 4th. Can he look for 2nd and 3rd here because he's going to have the opportunity to make the pass here. Trip jump. Does he take his chance? Looks like he's going to wait here through 1 and 2 to set up. This 46 is all over the back bumpers. That 91.
Waiting isn't the worst thing in the world if you're Martin. One driver you're mainly focused on is Joshua Stillman, who currently runs in 10th place. That's the other driver who took a set of tires under this last caution. So the 91 has done a great job of carving his way through. Take every position at this point easy, gentle. I know you want the lead position because you got the fresher rubber, but if you run too aggressively, that fresh rubber is going to be nothing, and you're not going to be able to pull away. And Martin, at this current time, this has been awesome to see, but this is that awkward spot. I mean, exactly. It's so hard to stay patient in this zone when you know you got the rubber hit by these drivers, but you might overcook the tires and you might not even have advantage by the end of this run.
Very well might not. It really does seem to be a thing in iRacing that every tire evens out. At some
Martin
point,
to the lead.
just completely overheat the tire. So Morales is going to feel the advantage of these tires for now, but at some point it will start to even out compared to everybody else, and the draft will be a big factor. So if you're Martin, you got to get these things done quickly, and if anything, I think the time is running out for those new tires.
Take off and go is now Mark Morales. Welcome back to the lead position in Las Vegas. It's been a few seasons, but he is right back where he hopes to be at the end of this race. As the 91 gets some help. 3 at top screen into turn 1 with a big push and run. Again, the driver noted on it's this 42 UPS machine. That's Joshua Stovall. He also took a fresh set of tires on this last caution. He's been a lot more patient on approaches on trying to get by these drivers. By the system later on, right now he's stuck to the outside, has to use the rubber to get by jump. Look for this run to dive to the inside on the 11 of John Forbes, and Stovall doing exactly what he needs to do, as he was the driver entering 10th here tonight in points. He just needs a good top 10 run here this evening, and he'll be racing in the chase.
That it will be. This is exactly what the 42 needs. So he elected to take those tires on that last stop instead of doing what Ollie Fonseca, similar driver to him, where they both took fuel on the previous stop. Ollie stays out. Stover comes in the pit. Stover's 5th. Fonseca, they're back at 19th. But Fonseca does have that extra set of tires. But very well could end up not even using those tires if this race does very well play out. Green flag to the end.
Still there.
Currently, our drivers that are
Still there.
Pace on speed. That's our top 20 drivers.
Hold your line.
Running quick. Jared Talmadge was
Come on,
on
clear me, clear me, clear me, clear me, clear me.
That 27 machine back in
Jesus.
position.
High side's clear.
Off the pace.
Car outside.
That is, it's heartbreaking to see for the
Hold your
27.
line.
He does have enough points and he'll be running that line. Chase. You'll see that redemption run. Clear high. Talmadge here for 6 and 8 on hill. Can he hoist the championship? That's Isaac Shelley. Trying to hold back 42. Still balling. There's really nothing still there at this point with the change of rubber. With Isaac Shelley, see Garcia having trouble. Only Fonseca all the way back in 19th position.
Your mom.
Shelley might survive this run here tonight with all of the mishaps. Was starting back in last with the end of the line penalty that he was given after last week's race at Auto Club. This is a perfect run for Shelley, who's running at one of his better oval courses that we're running at here tonight.
Definitely needed for Shelley because this is going to battle test him before those playoffs, man. This is definitely been a testament to his night. So great job by Shelley for putting himself in a position still.
Next car is Dealin, car number
11 here, John Forbes. He's in the 6th position right now, running here right behind Vincent Sora and right in front of Danny Cochran. So the teammates are 5th, 6th, and 7th here sitting here. And we'll see how they can use
should try hard to save us out somewhere.
Tires and maybe catch back up to that group that got those fresh ones.
If we're looking at the drivers, when they last went into pit road, it's when they're going to pit again. We know this race is going to be a one-stop from here. The question is, when
you've used half your fuel
time be to hit pit road? For the likes of the drivers are Thomas Green, Isaac Shelley, Vincent Sora, that came to pit road 37 laps ago. I mean, you'd imagine that they're going to run it until it runs dry. I'm curious for Morales and Stovall what their reaction play is going to be if we get to that group like pit stop.
Yeah, we burned our shit up.
Be, I think the really big question is when do they come
lap time was
I think these others will most likely take it at least another 25, maybe a little bit, maybe 25 laps, I'd say at most, just to make sure they can have a little bit of buffer room on the edge of this race. But you know, Morales and Stovall can take it a little farther, or they want to go. The question I think concerns me for them is the times are starting to even out. 31.89 for Morales up from 31.91. We're looking at 32 O's from some of these drivers on the older tires, so only about a tenth to 2 tenths faster, and that draft's going to start to pull them right back in. I think
this is that swing zone that we're starting to see.
Oh, what's going on here?
20 laps into a run. We'll see how these drivers can go back and forth the shrink jump, and back out and back in line. And as they single file out, these drivers have been having such a good run. I think this might be our one and only time maybe to go commercial break, and we'll see how well it goes as we will be back in just a few moments, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a pleasure to give you the call of race number 9 here in Las Vegas, the Wheelin Dealin 150 here for race number 9, the last race of the regular season. And a good one. Who's going to make the chase? Who's going to be out? We will be back after this as we go full screen on our commercial break.
Start to tell who's tire wear. People are starting to run different lines and stuff.
B13, the gap in front is now 0.80. That lap was at 32.29. The gap to DJ behind is now 0.83.
little away from the guys behind, but can't catch the guys in front of me.
Okay, Dakota. Lap times are pretty consistent.
Ouch.
Gap to Steel ahead is increasing. It's now 1.19. The lap time was at 32.40.
Your wheel, your left wheel is pointing to the right.
Oh, he's a lapper, never mind. Right, he was caught up in that wreck.
The car in front of us is now a lap behind.
Oh, they're both there.
The gap to A12 ahead is now 1.08.
And it's like all four of you hit the wall at the same time.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ISRC Lariat Production Truck Series Season 8.
He's on fresh tires. We're a couple times slower than him.
It's the last race of the regular season. Your Wheelin Dealin 150 at Las Vegas. We've had plenty of different carnage happening here tonight. Lots of different wrecks blossoming up. Some influencing those that are racing to get into the chase. Others have just been unfortunate circumstances.
3 wide up there.
Some of them have been quite massive. One of the drivers that is missed out on today's race, mishap by the admins. Cody Reed not able to even start the race as they accidentally disqualified him before qualifying even started. Then as the race has gone on, we've seen the likes of Jesse Thornton, Ryan Ferraro, and
Okay, Dakota, the next car is car number 99. Their rating is 3.0.
His luck just has not been there to get him into the chase as he needed a good run, entering 12th in points, top 12 in points, automatically make the chase for 13th and 20th in points, give a win. You are an active driver currently leading the charge. It's Mark Morales into the 91 machine. We were trying to do the math. It's highly unlikely that if he wins, they'll make the chase as he is pretty far out of the top 20. But it would be such a great story if he could get it done. Also, other storyline drivers. You got Joshua Stovall, one of the biggest fan bases.
He's on mind, reader. Get out of my way.
But it's all going to come down to this, Zach. The storylines are mounting up, but pit road is also about to be calling.
It is definitely about to be calling here soon, Sam. I really think that a lot of drivers will probably be hitting around 105 for that 45 to go marker. Or about 110. I think you could see a few others stretch it to there, and maybe a few others really get aggressive here and pit a little bit earlier. So we'll see who's the first one, so to say,
I'll battle
their rating. A decisive moment once that happens, because we have seen some separation. You're seeing here Morales, Stovall, they've separated about 1.2 seconds up from the field from
50 to go, 49 to go here.
Sort of closing on him.
11 laps left to field.
And there's definitely a good little bit of separation throughout there. And then from there, it's really stacked up from about
consistency.
8th position back with Trenton Jones, Smith, Steele, all that
gap is 0.78.
See also cloud coverage coming over as the track gets darkened. And that means this track cools off just ever so slightly as they get prepared for these pit stops and communication. It's going to be a big thing of note with these drivers and how close they are. Like you said, this pack of 8 that we have on screen. If you're not communicating, okay, I'm pitting and giving the drivers around you plenty of
last lap was at 32.46.
Bring out a yellow that can really change things up as a teammate of the 46 of Trent Jump. That's going to be Eric Stamp, one of the early drivers to hit pit road. And Eric was part of earlier incidences, so I'm not surprised to see him pitting sooner than others, as his tire wear was a little bit more aggressive than the drivers up front. But will we see these others hit pit road? It's been a pleasure to give you the call, like always, here on Monday night on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. With this being the final race of the regular season, the drivers next week have their all-star break as they head to Bristol, and in 2 weeks, we start the chase. Talladega going to be the first destination to start out a 5-race chase run. Those 12 drivers running for the championship going to be one you do not want to miss out on. But Zach, with this being the last race of the regular season, the pressure mounted on some of the drivers we know was great. But for those that are
first sector for pit road,
like Trent Jump and a couple of others that have had good runs this season, and all they had to do was just finish the race.
Okay, Dakota,
I wonder what their mentality is for this run, knowing that there's not as much pressure on them.
Still there.
You know, I think really the mentality just got here and kind of treat this almost as if it wasn't a playoff race. Kind of go ahead and say, this week I need to go ahead and get the mentality of playoff racing and getting the most out of myself. Because, you know, if you just go head first,
Isaac, what are you doing, bro?
You're just like, you flip a switch and things are going to change. It's not going to be like that. So I think you got to really change that mentality before you even get there. I think a lot of drivers could use tonight very well to do that as we're checking out right now. The 16 of Joshua Kanata here in 13th had a kind of a quiet night for him. But he's starting to maybe find a few spots up here. He's got pretty quick times compared to drivers ahead.
Yeah, he's right at the top, utilizing that speed perfectly.
Still there.
Pit road, going to be Manila Motorsports and a few others in the frame.
Might as well burn him up as we're about to come down.
Going to pit road. Some aggressive pit entries. Now pit road speed is 50 miles per hour.
About 6 laps.
With speeding, and that could be a race ender as well for some of these drivers. No one's caught yet with that speeding penalty. That's more drivers up front. John Force now entering pit road. And it is calling like
Isaac pitting.
105 window is where it's going to start. And as they slowly trickle in, drivers up front, Morales, Stovall, that could be a cue with Forbes coming into pit road that they might need to come in the next 2 to 3 laps.
They can't wait too long. You really don't want to have the likes of John Forbes right on your back bumper with only 3 to 4 laps difference.
Watch
he
your
will
speed. All right,
make up that difference just with his driving abilities. Actually, while this is all going on, they're pitting here. Joshua Stovall in front, he's going for the lead on Mark Morales. They're side by side off of 2 now. For
hitting.
As they're battling for the lead, Thomas Green, black flag. He's got a 40-second hold before he can take off and go. That is going to be a tough pill for the 3 that was running 3rd and was looking to be the most promising driver to go after.
Yikes, our wide front was gone.
Battling currently side by side. Stovall, Morales at this current moment as it's Morales across the line. He leads that lap, but Stovall, he wants that top position as we're having a little bit of cameras freak out there. But it's Stovall running well on the inside. He'll take that lead spot.
Keep it tight.
Big move from Stovall as he's going to take that lead position. He's always going to throw a block down the back straightaway. These two getting aggressive here right before the pit sequence. As I'm interested to see when they flinch and come here. I don't think you go way too long. And Morales making the smart call, coming to the road here, but don't make the same mistake. Thomas Dublin, you can't speed here.
Oh no! Rugged in the barn once again in the high pressure zone. This is not a position he normally is in, and you feel that nervousness just oozing out there in that moment.
Yeah, I was already in front of us, right? Yeah.
Speeding, but that's a lot of lost time with that slide into pit road.
Man,
P17.
Up there, 98
for him as he narrowly navigates his way to his box, but we'll see the Stovall
ahead is now
this time. I don't think he can wait too long. He's going to fly into pit road. The 42 of Joshua Stovall here looks like he's going to get one up, but everybody, you can see the rear end's very much wheel hopping as you're getting slowed down, going through those gears.
I know definitely Thomas Green was in front of us.
24 license.
Take her vote.
How long is John Forbes?
Still there.
15th place.
Mark Morales, who just got his service done, he is falling quickly down the leaderboard with how long he stayed out.
Like, someone keep up and not burn my shit up? That'd be awesome.
4 to 5 seconds off of those top drivers that have already pitted. This is a massive loss of time, and they gotta hope that those final 4 laps, this race either gets to caution, or they've got the tires to run down those that have already pitted.
This is going to get very, very interesting.
Vinny, I'm hitting this
right
one.
here. We right on board with our leader, Nick Crawford. He is yet to come to pit road. Same for Noah still here, but I'm interested to see. I don't think you can go too much longer here with Crawford. I mean, you're just losing so much valuable time, I think, to the others that you were around. But he's going to continue on around here. And Mira Crawford also, I think this might even be his last set of tires.
Yeah, this should be, and that's why he was staying out as long as he could. And he was on the radio on the backtrack saying he was going to go into pit road. That's why those other drivers shifted to the outside.
It's going to be interesting to see how this cycles out.
Drivers further on behind. That's going to be Joshua Kanata. Ball slipping and sliding, but that's the aggressiveness that these drivers are trying to push into pit road. You can lose a lot of time. You can gain a lot of time with drivers trying to get into pit road.
Yeah, I'm just not trying to burn my shit up earlier.
Lose a lot of time for sure. It is a place that can be make or break. And we'll see here now. Noah's still coming down. It's been disaster for a lot. And again, a little bit loose in the rear end, but good job for Noah there getting it low.
The car rejoining in front.
Oh no, black flag for Noah! He slid!
Car number 00.
All of that slipping and sliding, and it was for nothing. Throw it away for Noah Steele, as he was one of those drivers that had a little bit more comfortable zone. He had an 18-point advantage over the likes of Samuel Garcia and a 19-point advantage over Ollie Fonseca. This black flag could change things here for that 8 machine if he continues to lose more time and gets caught with any more penalties.
That could be a huge implication for sure. We'll have to see how that all shakes out, but Michael Miller still once it all cycles through, it looks like John Forbes will be our leader when it is all said and finished. Vincesor, I think, will be closing in up there from actually Danny Cochran in second, then Vincesor in third. So it'll be those three. This for the CRS team leading the way, but Miller, I think, we'll see how long he waits to the side here. I think he might just be more or less banking on yellow here. Going to stretch it as far as he can.
Hold your line.
And an update on Joshua Stovall, Mark Morales. They did it again. Four laps to go for Stovall, 5 laps to go for Mark Morales. Stovall has already gotten by the 91 machine with all the slipping and sliding. Lost too much ground. It's the 42 that is going to be trying to chase down John Forbes. That gap, a little bit over 7.5 seconds is the difference between those drivers. We'll see if Stovall can catch up to John Forbes, or is the mountain too large, and did he wait too long?
Well, these two guys behind me, I should be able to pull away theoretically.
Each lap was about 7.5 to 2 seconds you were losing, and it's shown now on track. This is a massive amount of time to climb for Stovall.
Their rating is
that was exactly what I was worried. I was a big slide there for Stovall.
Shelly's right behind us.
Putting it on the line here right now is a 31.026 last time for him. It was a 31.141 from our leader. So I'm literally only at a 10th of a second difference, and that wouldn't get it done to the end of the race if Stovall was that much faster. So, and the tires usually tend to equal out even more. So we'll see how this works out staying out that longer, but I do think it was a little bit of a detriment to stay out longer and give up track position to a few of these other trucks.
And again, it's maybe one of those scenarios where you might be thinking on a late caution. Late cautions have happened here in the past. We've had to go to overtime multiple times in the past. Those overtime attempts, when we see those crazy finishes, 2-3 wide to the line, drivers being taken out on the entry of turn 3, and if we see a late caution, it really could change things up, as we've got ourselves currently with Michael Miller still staying out on track. Just surprising to see that he's still out there. He is slowly being caught by John Forbes. We do not believe Miller can make it to the end of this race on fuel, but once Miller pits, he'll be leaving us with about 20 drivers on the lead lap. Noah Steele currently is in 21st position. Looking at some of those drivers that are outside on where they run. Danny Cochran could still a little bit of a change here on points, but he's too far back. Noah Steele making the chase, even with that mistake he had.
He's definitely, I think, going to be lucky to have the gap that he did, Sam. I mean, that mistake really hurt him a lot worse. If I think a few others, didn't have their troubles, but definitely, I think, just barely having enough. We'll have to see how it all shakes out. But Danny Cochran going to need most likely a win for himself if he wants to win. So that's I don't think in the reaches with how much older his tires are in the group ahead of him.
He's playing the long game.
Only 6.5 seconds now behind Michael Miller's actually 3 wide.
Okay, Dakota. The next car is Michelle. Car number 98. Their rating is 5.1.
I think it's Fonseca, the 24 back there.
The leader, Miller, is pitting.
Yeah, a lot of drivers trying to make their push forward. Ollie Fonseca positions up on Tyler Dingler. Dingler is at 26th. All that the 24 has to do, just make sure that he finishes at least 5 positions ahead of Dingler, and he will be making it into the chase. And currently where he runs,
Naturally.
a great spot for Ollie Fonseca. All his other competition drivers have had mistakes happen here. Tonight is Michael Miller with his service. Now awards the lead to John Forbes. It's going to be Vincent Sora, and it's the 2 teammates that have been aggressively patient. Crazy to say, I know that's not really a phrasing you would say, but the 11 to 15, they are now in line with one another, and they look primed to be the victors here this evening, unless there's a giant shakeup that happens later on.
It's going to be tough to catch those two, especially with them kind of working almost together. It's
That lap was at 31.
how far they are out. So it's going to be tough to catch the two up there, but Logan Brakey right now looks like he'll be getting passed by the 91 of Martin Rouse. This is the position for 6. And Martin, if anything, tonight could come out of here with an excellent finish. I think a top 5 is very doable for this 91 team, and he could be, I think that would be an excellent night for him.
It certainly would be. I know in the chat,
Catch a stamp at least.
Excited. She's just stated the fact that Joshua Stovall is up to 5th position. He's still 6 seconds behind. That last lap, he gained 3/10. That is a big gain, but the amount of laps that are left, even if he stayed at that rate, wouldn't be enough to catch up to our leaders. But one thing that isn't helping Stovall maybe catch up and make this fight a little bit more interesting, John Forbes and Sora, they are going side by side at times, which is hurting both these drivers. As Danny Cochran, he's trying to pull along the likes of Trenton Jump and others, try to catch up to our top 2.
Yeah, because this is going to be a titanic battle here. I think these two know
The guy in front
that
is stamp car
it is
number
pretty much
53. Their rating is
now who can
2.4.
hold the lead here from here, because John Forbes, we know how good he is at defending, how good he is at leading this place, winning at Vegas before. But Vincent's been super good this season. Seems like he's almost had a little bit of the upper hand on John this season. So I think this is important before the playoffs to see who can get the upper hand on each other and kind of show, hey, I'm going to be the guy that beat going into the playoffs this season.
Yeah, I mean, both drivers had some similar starts this season. They really weren't qualifying for them, either of them. They were kind of told that you guys need to start qualifying halfway through the season by the admins, and they have been up front dominating almost every race that they show up for. Crazy enough, though, the first 8 races, these 2 drivers have only won 4 of the 8 races. Now, you might say, well, that's still over half the season these 2 have dominated in. But in the past, they would win 60-70% of the races. So it's been great to see other drivers show up, contend with the wins. But it really has been Vincent Sora having that upper hand entering tonight. Had a 30-point advantage over John Forbes. Last week, Forbes got that second win. Sora already had 2 wins a couple of weeks prior.
This is definitely getting down to the crunch, man. It's getting to that playoff time as Michael Miller on the fresher tires.
The next car is 2 laps behind.
He is with those much better Goodyear tires underneath him, and he'll slide up the inside here and maybe even sort of take advantage maybe a little bit of this. Is going to put John on the track a little bit, but luckily 1 and 2 here, that's not going to be too big of an issue. It's going to hold on to that positioning as we drop back here to the 46 straight jump, and he's here in this 4th position, but he is quickly going to be looking back in his mirror, because it is the 42 with Joshua Stovall, who was definitely the driver on the move. 31.88 that last time to a 32.17 for jumps. So that's about 3/10, and Joshua Stovall will be there in the next lap.
Grade A fucking retard, Ollie. You are the most retarded person on this track. Every fucking week. Every fucking week.
Last lap was at 32.02.
It blows my mind how inconsiderate of other people's faces are. It's just actually so fucking terrible.
Just take the fucking spot and shut the fuck up. God damn.
To watch Trent. It really feels like we're getting back to those old days, back in season 2 with Trent Jump. They're maybe not winning like he was back in season 2, but the consistency's there, and being inside the top 5 for most weeks has been there. That has been
You literally every week fuck someone up. I had like, I don't care if you rate me, if you just didn't lift until you start. You know what I mean? Like, I'm off record tires. I don't care that you're putting up a fight. That doesn't bother me. It's like you just don't lift until you drive into someone's door every fucking time. Like the 3rd time it's just happened.
Pull it off, as you can see here from Stovall's point of view. That 46 is definitely getting bigger in the front windshield as he is closing the gap down, continuing to take time away from the driver's ahead.
And also slowly closing in.
I literally don't have a problem with anyone in this
the mere second and a little bit under a second and a half ahead of this 42 machine. Coming up to 20 laps to go. And looking at the rate and pace, Stovall's pace has equaled out with John Forbes and as well Vincent Sora. So it is turning into a top 3 finish. Still there. This race stays great. There's a couple of drivers that have been racing around one another, and over the radio have been kind of chattering at each other. As Shelly, all even say, coming on top of one another. Here's another close battle.
You're outside.
I mean,
V12.
this is incredible.
Montior is
with
all
all of his issues here this evening. Battling for a top 15 run.
Yeah, he was caught up in a few of those wrecks and definitely had a lot of damage. So great job by him to get right back into the mix. Him and Dakota having a good little battle, but I think Dakota will have about 5 lap fresher tires. So Dakota, I think, should be able to get away here. We'll see as he was about 3/10 quicker that last lap. But that draft can play some pretty big role in the factor of how you get away from somebody.
The lap time was 32.44.
Get away because it's about 2 seconds up the track to Ali, and I don't think that would be possible. It's Fonseca. He's right outside the top 10. He's fighting for his life for sure.
He certainly is a driver that was battling for the lead for
Okay,
started.
next car is 5 laps behind.
Behind Nick Crawford as he was battling for 6th position there. Here's that 91 machine looking for one of his best finishes of the season. Looking for a top 10 run, and if you find the pace,
time was at
try to run down for a top 5
Got half your fuel
finish
left.
tonight. If you can find that in speed, catch up with Trent Jump, or Shotty will find the speed, catch up, run down Joshua Stovall once again. This has been a pleasure to give you the call here on Freaking Fast Broadcasting. You are watching the ISRC Linear Purchase Truck Series. It is the Wheelin Dealin 150 at Las Vegas, the last race of the regular season.
Alright, inside 20 to go here.
This
is the last little bit of this race in the green, so
Darlington, Rockingham, and finishing the season off at Kansas. They're going to be on top of one another. It's going to be great racing to see. A lot of fast drivers hunting for that championship. The primary 2 to watch out for are the top 2 on track, the teammates in line. Sean Forth, Vincent Sora on the ticker, on the time, on the gap. Zach, they are on top of one another, but it looks like they're kind of in cruise control until we get to these final 10 to 5 laps.
It's going to get wild for sure here, Sam. I think Vince Sora, he's looked to the inside about 4 to 5 times from what I've watched so far, and he's been able to get there, but just cannot get fully alongside enough to clear it. It's going to be tough. John is placing the truck very well, making sure the exits are there. Look at this slide off the corner. I think Vincent is kind of maybe hoping that is what's going to pull something off for him here. Is maybe pressure John into a couple more of those slides over outside. As you can see, look how close he's getting to the rear. He might get to the right rear quarter panel here, and that would be amazing, but actually it might get a crossover now.
As he backs off, gets back in line, thinking back and forth, picture line. Where do you think he's going to go? Vincent Sora trying to force Sean Forbes to mirror drive, more than trying to hit his markers to hit the corner properly. But Forbes, the experience, the level, but will they just throw it all away as both drivers collect the wall? And if you're a Stovall fan, if you're rooting for Danny Cochran or Trent Jump, that's what you want to see more of. Get these drivers in the wall, scrub off that time, ruin your race.
Oh,
as that will assist the 2 to close that gap down just by a couple of tenths.
In every bit of the racetrack, man. You gotta do that. I mean, every inch is available out there. If you don't do that, you're not gonna be able to find the speed. As right now, they're coming up on some lap traffic here. As Forbes has had to run the top side. He's up in the wall, and there you see Vincent even kind of crazy. He's gonna have a chance here to look to the outside, but now gonna cross back to the inside here. They're gonna be side by side. This might be a good chance.
0-0. Sora, car number 50 is leading the race.
And here it is, slide job move with 15. He's clear before trying to get to the inside. He will get there. They'll stay side by side, catching up to more lap traffic ahead of him. Forbes has the nose. Sora, that slide job move was perfect for a moment, but he loses track. Now it's his chance to do a slide job move. As Forbes wiggles, it's now Sora to the inside.
Excellent racing. While that happened, Joshua Stovall has gotten by Trent Jump. He's setting his sights up on Danny Cochran, but this racing up front is too good to get away from. 12 to go. Is Sora going to clear again? Down here in 1 and 2, he will, but look for the crossover once again from the 11, but the 15 has to be better this time of holding back the 11. He does.
Last lap time
stop
was
that momentum.
52.39.
big wiggle, and I think for both drivers, they want to finish 1-2, but they want to give us a show as well. Small little tap into the center of the corner, trying to loosen up that rear end to give a better exit for the 11. Not able to get that looseness just yet. They'll utilize the draft for John Ford. Vincent Sora, now it's his turn to mirror drive and see where will the 11 go. It's his chance for the slide job move, but he did not send it as far as the 15 did. Vinny, better position off the exit. He'll defend for himself this lap around. But what will next lap look like as the sun raises, the track is getting a little bit hotter. It's time for the action as well to ramp up as we're closing in on 10 laps to go. Will it be Vincent Sora? Could it be John Forbes? Or will they both throw it away and give a chance for someone else to steal the show here tonight?
Wow, man, this fight is so great. The sun's telling the clouds to get out of the way. It wants to watch all this go down. Is right now Vincent Sora has the positioning on the outside to hold him back. Forbes, though, this time not able to fully stay on the side. Sora going to have about a 1-2-7 gap now. You've just done it 32.50. Next time by 9 mirror laps to go. Can Forbes formulate some way to get around him? It seems like the draft has been the key. The driver in second has had the ability to get to the inside or the outside whenever.
We're going to keep the camera on this lead battle. We'll audibly try to give you information on that battle for third place as well, as John Forbes is trying to find a way to get this inside-outside corner panel, one of the two, to give himself a chance on the entry of the next corner. It looks like it's going to have to be a slide job move, similarly what we saw Vincent Sora do, but for John Forbes, who's in that defensive lane for so long, I don't know if the 11 has the tire wear to fight back. He's doing his best, though, to stay attached. It's now set up for these corners, and we saw it last week for Forbes. He was taking that early apex, trying to set up for these exits of the corners at Auto Club. Does he have a similar move here at Las Vegas as we exit out of turn number 2?
Man, these guys are literally leaning on each other as teammates, and this is two of the best out here at ISRC, and they're willing to risk it because they know they don't have a lot to lose. And you're going to see John throw the slider there. It's going to cross back under him here, but John with the excellent job there throwing that slider. I think this is just going to be all about timing of who's going to lead this race. I think this is going to trade hands multiple times.
As they go back and forth, and once again, Vincent Sora, it's his attempt down into turn number 1. Feels like he's found the most strength to get the pass done, but it's through 3 and 4 where you're really fighting defending on who can get to the line first. As John Forbes better run off the exit. The 11 looks strong on the top rope, but the 15 continues to find little inking speed to keep himself right there in the quarter panel, forcing Forbes to really utilize every little bit off the exit. And it's that challenge off the exit of the corner that's forced the 11 on the outside wall multiple times. And for John Forbes, he's got to be careful, but he saved these tires for this moment. 6 laps to go, and even with this slicing and dicing back and forth, it's still not enough time lost for Stovall or Danny Cochran to run down and catch these two. They're still 4.5 seconds back as Stovall is almost by the 2 machine.
That he is. They're side by side for that 3rd position now, as Stovall has finally got there. Vincent Sora has kind of cracked and fell back off the leader here, so he's got to reformulate something. Stovall is just fighting for every little thing here to get around these two, but the 2 of Danny Cochran knows he wants a podium position. He might not be able to have a chance to fight for the playoffs, but he still wants to have a good run here tonight and have something to talk about.
Oh, Jarrett, please get out of my way.
Have to run off the exit of the corner. It looks like he might have the space, but Danny Cochran keeps his foot down, gets the better momentum, the better speed, and they'll stay side by side, drag racing through the corners. And it's Stovall who's made all of this marching work to get by Trent Jump, a chance to get by Danny Cochran, and almost a nose ahead with 4 laps to go here tonight. This 42, the work isn't done, and Cochran is not making it any easier as John Forbes continues to pull away from Vincent Sora.
Forbes, opening that gap up front. He looks like he has solidified that for a little bit. As again, Cochran not allowing this 42 to clear. It just shows you how much the tires even out. There's a huge difference in these tires between these two. It's 6 laps difference. So it is a giant difference. But this late in the run, it doesn't matter. Cochran into the wall, and that's going to be on position. Stovall in the P3.
And Danny Cochran Cochran over the radio with just a simple dang. He thought he had it, was in a better position. About 3 laps to go. It's Stovall. He's got the clean air. No one to his outside. He can use every little piece of this track as he tries to pull away. Other battles that are happening on course. Going to be the battling going on for 5th place as Nick Crawford is finally able to make that pass. But up front, it is all John Forbes with 2 laps to go here tonight.
It is wild to say. It is just swung like a light switch here as the 11 has found the pace. Something has clicked for him late to this run, and he is just opening the gap to Vincent Sora. And this is what Forbes wants to do. Get that 3rd victory this season and claim the most victories in the regular season.
Was he playing a possum? Was he laying over it, just waiting to pounce in these final 5 laps? Looks like that might have been the case. Off the exit of turn number 4, you look to the flag stand. It's your gridless graphics white flag for John Forbes, looking for win number 3 of the season and be the most winless driver so far. And Zach, this 11 has done it once again on the exit of turn 2.
What a job he's done. I thought it was all said and done. I thought Vincent had played the long game on him, got around him, but John didn't give up. He made 2 passes to get back around him, and he has fought his way back and pulled away.
Off the exit of turn number 4, Vincent Sora might take the regular season championship, but the driver with all the momentum heading into the chase, it's the 11 of John Forbes taking the win at the Wheelin and Dealin 150 here at Las Vegas.
I'm pushing hard to keep you back
Josh was going with an awesome podium to move himself into those playoffs. Cochran's going to bring home 4th, Crawford rounding out the top 5.
Okay,
and Mark Morales going to bring that home in 7th, almost getting tripped.
Oh, what the hell just happened there?
Mark Morales, his first top 10 of the season.
Fucking stupid 2X at the end.
Team.
So that's awesome.
Strong run here at Las Vegas. Wasn't enough for the win, but a fantastic performance for himself. John Forbes, John Forbes, all the congratulational bumps from everybody, and for Forbes, another season goes by of utter dominance here at Las Vegas as he wins once again, and this will be 2 in a row as he won here last season. John Forbes burns down. Enjoy this one as he is going to be celebrating with 3 wins in the regular season, the most wins of anyone so far. We'll see how well he can carry this momentum into the chase. But for us here tonight, we will step away when we come back. It's the post-race show. We'll talk to John Forbes, Vincent Sora, Josh Stovall, and we'll spotlight driver right after this. We'll be back in
I was definitely trying to send it in.
Yeah,
So I gave it a spot back. I was like, shit, didn't mean it.
Oh, you're good. It's last lap.
Like, literally nothing wrong with that.
I would have understood.
So
it was funny, I mean, they actually didn't even touch.
2.5 lanes on the bottom.
Yeah.
I could it or what.
You don't respect that room. That's just what's really frustrating to me.
It's all good. Still a decent finish.
Yeah. Kind of hoping to get a caution at the end there.
Yeah, that would have shut shit up.
Yeah, I still had a set.
Oh, lucky. That would have worked out
definitely.
I know
I did. I know Ollie did. A couple of guys did. That would have made things fun. Mark Morales got 7th.
Nice. Good for him.
That was a fun race, I guess.
That was bad.
It's fun to pop up.
Alright, yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Okay, good race.
Alright, I'll talk to you later, bro.
Later.
Alright, well, we'll take it. 12th place. Decent finish, so. We're not going to be in the All-Star race next week. We can get a top 10, but it's all good. It's the last race in the playoffs, but we'll try to, I think Talladaga's the first race in the playoffs, so we'll try to take it to the Pedels then. Yeah, Talladega is the first race in the playoffs, so we'll try to go for the win in that race, but overall here, top 15 finish, we'll take it. Everything considered, so I appreciate y'all tuning in as always, and we'll see you guys later on.